All right. Hi, everybody. um, hey, if you are planning on a promotion during the holidays or you're planning to take some time off, let's work together today to try to create a plan for you so that you can do both, right? We want to have time off and we want to make promotions and money while we are taking that time off. Hey, so if you are planning on doing some holiday promotions, holidays are creeping up on us, right? And if you haven't gotten started yet in getting your holiday promotions ready, then it's probably time to get started, because the earlier you start working, the less stress you're going to have in the long run, and the more things you'll be able to accomplish, right? So let's talk about how you can create a strategy. First of all, let's take a look at the holidays that are coming up, right? We have Halloween in about 7 weeks. We have Veterans Day in about 9 weeks, Thanksgiving in about 11 weeks, Black Friday also in about 11 weeks, Christmas in 14 weeks, and New Year's in 16 weeks. So I know that seems like you have a lot of time, but we all know when it comes to productivity and implementation, things take time. And so it's time to start planning it now. And here's what I suggest that you do. So you want to look at, especially if you want to take time off, like the last 2 weeks of the holidays, right? The last 2 weeks of the year, excuse me. If you want to take those last 2 weeks off, then we got to really start thinking about those things that you're going to be promoting during the New Year holiday. Those kinds of things need to be done, right? Otherwise, you're going to be scrambling at the last minute. So if we think about all the way up until about those 2 weeks before Christmas, that gives you about 14 weeks, somewhere around there, to start preparing, but only 7 weeks until Halloween. So we want to start looking at all the different promotions that you're planning for those specific holidays, and write those down right now on a piece of paper. If you want to do any type of a promotion during those holidays, get them written down on a piece of paper right now. If you don't have an idea yet, it might be time to either start getting the idea or just don't do a promotion for that particular holiday this year. So here's the thing. Just because you don't do a promotion this year doesn't mean you can't do one next year. So if you decide that you have way too much on your plate between now and that holiday, when, like, let's say you don't feel like you have enough time to get everything ready for all of those holidays, then cut one of them and then just plan to do that one next year. It's okay, because it's better than you failing on all of them, right? You're better off to have one promotion, one good solid promotion that you can do, rather than having multiple promotions for all the different holidays and then end up being failing at them all, or being late on them all and stressing out and not being able to relax and take time off, right? So actually, I wanted to tell you a little story. It was really interesting. I am a huge fan of the magazine, the Family Handyman. I love it. I like to do projects around my house, and someday I kind of have aspirations to really learn to build things. I've tried building a few things, and I'm not very good at it. But anyway, this month's issue, they actually tried to build like a vacation home in like a really remote area, and they didn't complete their whole project on time, but they still had to go. It was already planned for them to release their all their content and everything for that article in this month's thing. So now they're like, okay, well, we're going to show you the finished product in our next issue, but we're going to show you all the lessons we've learned and all the different things that we've learned so far. So I love that, because it's all about adapting, right? All about adapting and making sure that that you are flexible and that you can handle those kinds of things if they should happen. So planning ahead and having it's not really a B plan, or a plan B. It's kind of like a mitigation strategy, right? Just in case time becomes a risk. So that's one of the things you want to start looking at as well, is what is your mitigation strategy? So if you have all of these things that you want to promote during the holiday season and you start getting into a pinch, one of the things you want to be doing is prioritizing, right? So prioritize by the good old Scrum way: must have, should have, could have, and won't have at this time. So that means that you could have some things that you promote now and some things you can hold off and add those things in next year. So remember, nothing is lost. Everything is a building block toward all the great things that you are becoming, right? Just because you didn't get there today doesn't mean that you won't have that completed product or project later on down the road. So keep that in mind when you're building all of your promotions, that just because it's a holiday promotion doesn't mean it can't be an evergreen promotion. So it's a holiday promotion just because of the nature of it being holiday stuff, but that doesn't mean you can't re-promote that every single year. So think of, as you're planning out your content, think of it as, how can I make it, how can I build it with the future in mind, right? So that everything has a next step and a next step and a next step that you can keep building on year after year after year to make a really robust and beautiful holiday campaign for your business. Okay, so I want you to make that list of all the things that you want to promote during those holidays, and then try to estimate how long. Well, first of all, you have to look and see if anything is an actual project, right? If it's a major project, then you want to start looking at all the things that you need to do to complete that entire project. And, most of those campaigns are projects. They're big, right? I mean, it takes a lot of time to create the images and the copy and the content and the sales copy and the sales page and the promotions page and all the social media posts and all that stuff. It takes time. And so estimate how long those things take. And remember, how we estimate in the Scrum world is it bigger or smaller than an hour? Is it going to take longer or shorter than an hour? If it's longer, is it going to take more than 2 hours, more than 3 hours, more than 4 hours? If it's going to be more than 4 hours, then break it down into smaller and smaller tasks until you can estimate it more easily, because nobody has a 4-hour attention span. So you're probably going to need to build in milestones for yourself so that you have natural stopping points in your work, so that you're not left working all through the night because you didn't create a good stopping place for yourself and you're afraid you're going to lose that momentum, right? By giving yourself those stopping points, you can actually then take a few notes as you wrap up that stopping point so that you're ready to pick up where you left off the next day or the next week or whatever it is that you can do that. Okay, and then we're going to, now that we've estimated, it's going to be much easier for you to prioritize. If you have something that's going to take a whole bunch of hours and a whole bunch of time that you don't have time for, then you may want to think about dropping that one thing for this time around. So must have, should have, could have, and won't have it this time, right? Won't have it this time comes into play. And those could haves could become won't haves if you get down to the wire. So make sure that you have that, because it gives you a mitigation strategy if you are running out of time, right? And it gives you that strategy. You have some things that you can drop, but you're gonna get those must-haves in there. You're gonna get most of those should-haves in there, right? Or maybe all of them, maybe some of those could-haves. If not, you drop them until the next year and then add them. Make sure you're taking good notes and you're storing these things in a good place that you can retrieve year after year after year and track the progress that you're making on that one single promotion. Now, obviously, as you go through promotion after promotion, year after year, you're going to learn things, right? And so, but there's no need to start over completely. You can do a review process each and every year to review your content from the previous year, make some improvements, get it out there, get it ready, then start your new stuff for the new year. And that way you kind of already have some things ready and scheduled and ready to go. So that gives you some breathing room so you can create more and better things for your business. Okay, so now that you've done all those things, then we want to start looking at the number of weeks, right? So the other priority you're going to have is it a Halloween promotion? Is it a Veterans Day promotion, a Thanksgiving or Black Friday promotion? Is it a Christmas promotion? And so when you prioritize which you need to do first, you're going to obviously probably have to do the work that's for the closest deadline, right? Which would be Halloween. So that, we have, what did I say? We had 7 weeks until Halloween or something like that, right? So what we want to do then is start trickling in that work into our sprints each and every week, right? So we have about 14 weeks until the Christmas holiday, and you want to have all these things complete so you can take off time during the Christmas holiday. And so we want to trickle in those hours. You have this total hours, like maybe it's going to take you 40 or 60 hours of work to get all these different promotions done. So make sure you trickle in time each and every week to work on this holiday project, and make sure that the time that you have allotted between now and Halloween is enough time for you to complete that Halloween stuff and still enough time to complete all the others. Remember that you also want to prioritize those holidays by really, what is the bang for your buck, right? What is going to provide the most value for your people and the most revenue for you, so that you can, make sure that you're keeping that in the forefront of your mind when you're choosing which holidays to do promotions on. Now, so that's how you want to try to fit things in, right? Because here's the thing, like the world does not stop just because we have holidays and promotions coming, right? You still have, weekly content, or, however often you create content to do. And that's a lot of work, right? That's several hours a week. And then you have, all your other projects that you may be working on, and your promotions, your social media, your networking, all those different things still have to be done. So you don't want to be in that position where you're putting every single thing that you're doing on hold just so you can do this one thing. Instead, try to trickle it in and cut the things that are, the least impact to your business, and make the ones highest priority that will impact your business the best. Once you get all these promotions done, then we want to really look into scheduling things. Now, if you're on a low budget, you can schedule things in Facebook Creator Studio, and that, makes quick work of, well, not necessarily quick work, but they did just revamp Facebook Creator Studio recently, and I don't think it's quite as buggy as it used to be, though. I finally did abandon it because it was pretty buggy and crazy for a long time. But they did just promote, or just put new code out there. I think they redid a lot of it, and so it may be working better, and it is free. So if you need a free tool for scheduling, you can use Facebook Creator Studio. Otherwise, you could even schedule in Canva now. If you didn't know that, if you are a premium user of Canva, you can schedule right in Canva to all of your, almost all of them. I don't know about Pinterest and stuff, but Facebook, Instagram, the basics, you can schedule your posts and you can see it in a nice calendar view. Otherwise, if you have a good scheduling software like Hootsuite, or what are the other ones? There's so many now. There's SmarterQueue, Hootsuite, Social, Sprout Social. There's a whole bunch of them, and some are very, very expensive. But Hootsuite and SmarterQueue are not terribly expensive, and they do have nice scheduling tools in them to use, but you really want to make that stuff automated so that it's easier for you. But here's the key. Scheduling things and then walking away is only, that's just part of the whole thing. The other piece is that you want to be able to reuse all of this campaign for the next year, right? So we want to put everything in a nice little package so that we can find that package next year and review it in a very easy way. And, so that we can review and improve on it and then get it back out there quickly so that we have time and resources to create new promotions or add more and make it more robust, right? And so think about that when you're putting everything together, is that you want to have it packaged in a way that you can retrieve it easily and review it easily without having to go and search and find everything. That's why I really recommend having a good file tracking system, so you can have your weekly content has its own folder for each week, and you put that information in there for each post. If you do more than one a week, that you put it all in that one folder, and it has all of your assets and maybe some sort of a log or some sort of a document that sort of summarizes the whole thing and has links to all those things that you need to retrieve so you can review them and update them. And you can find the working copies of everything, like in Canva. Don't you hate it when you're searching forever and you can't find that thing that you created, a year ago or whatever, because all you need to do is edit it, but you can't find it. So keeping those important links are, really, really a good way for you to save time and be more efficient. Okay, so get those things scheduled in Scheduler, and then email. When you send out an email promo, think about creating if you do campaigns, that's fine. Do a campaign. Just make sure that you have the copy in a document or somewhere where you can retrieve it easily, because we all know that email software is very, very slow from navigating to from one place to another. So if you want to go and look and review all your emails, it can be a real pain and take forever, especially if you have a slow internet connection. And so having things like, writing your emails in a Word document first and keeping that in your working folder, and then putting it in the campaigns with a link or the name of the campaign, some way where you're normalizing that naming convention so that you're always naming things in the same way, so it's easier to find things later on in the future. Or you can create an automation, which could be really beautiful. I mean, if you really worked at it, you could create a, like a Halloween automation, and then, a Thanksgiving, Black Friday automation, a Christmas automation, and even a New Year's automation. You can have those all separated, but you can have people go from one automation to the next all automatically. So if you just, learn how to use that feature of your email software, it can really make a difference in terms of giving you free time so that you can take time off during the holiday. Now, I take time off during the holiday. I take the last 2 weeks off of the year. I close the Scrum Boss Academy, and we take 2 weeks off every year, and it really does help. And that's not to say that I don't actually do some work, but I don't have to be in front of, I don't have the pressures of having to do all those other things. In fact, we actually play replays of my live during those holiday breaks so that I can take that time off, because the time off is important. It's really important for you to take time off and recharge. That's what causes burnout, is when you just never, ever recharge, right? So if you work on your business full time and you're already putting in 40 hours a week, make sure you're taking time off. I mean, if you're working less than 40 hours and you're not stressed about it, working on the weekend or whatever in the mornings or whatever, something like that, may work for you just fine without burning you out. But make sure you take that time off, because it is really, really important for us to recharge, because a tired mind is not very creative, right? And so you want to make sure that we're resting our minds and we're resting our bodies and we're exercising our bodies and we're, you know, doing other things, letting our brains do other things so that we can get, you know, disconnect from that work, because when we come back, we can actually have new and more innovative creativity going on that can really aid in creating the most fantastic products, services, everything that you have been dreaming of, right? And sometimes, I don't know about you, but sometimes I find that I am just, less creative when I have too much on my plate. And that's why I wanted to talk to you about this today. So make sure that you are really planning out your holidays now, because we're really almost too late, right, for planning out the holidays. Next year, maybe we can start, you want to start, in Q2, start working on all your holiday stuff, so that during Q3, you can be scheduling it, fine tuning it, making sure it's ready, and you don't have to rush so much. But, that can be hard to do. So, so it's not too late though now. So let's get started, get your holiday mapped out, see what you're going to do, and then try to trickle that work in and see how you do. See if you can get things done in a better way, in an easier way, and less stress, and be able to take some time off. All right, you guys. So get those things done, get that plan done, get your estimates done, make sure you're prioritizing. Remember, must have, should have, could have, and won't have. Just because you put on list doesn't mean you have to do it. So if you need to drop something to keep your sanity, do it. All right. And then, keep your eye on that calendar and make sure you're planning out your sprints accordingly. All right, you guys. So I hope that helps, and I hope you have a great holiday season, and keep me posted of how you're doing. And please check, post in the comments if you have any questions or you need any assistance in getting your holiday plans settled. You can always book an appointment with me, and I will help guide you through that. So make sure you contact me. You can DM me, whatever, if you need to talk about your business and your specific situation and how you can create holiday plans so that you can get all this stuff done. All right. Take care, everybody, and we'll see you in the comments.